Welcome to Fight Right Bitesize. Today we're going to be looking at binds. That is when you take your opponent's blade from the high line on one side to the low line on the opposite, or vice versa. So a bind is there to take control of your opponent's blade and counter their attack. I'm going to show you a few versions of the bind. When you bind, you go from the high line to the low line, or the low line to the high line. The high line is anything above the belly button, the low line is anything below the belly button. I'm going to start in the high line on a parry of 3. So someone's cut at my right shoulder, I've made a parry of 3. The mechanics of the bind, rather than just scooping the blade down, I want to make sure I've got good control, and for stage combat purposes, if you scoop, the blade's going to slip and then you can get hit or knocked by the blade. We want to avoid that. So the mechanics of the bind, we're going to extend first of all, so there's a straight line from my shoulder to the tip of the blade. I'm then going to bind my arms down across the centre line to the opposite side. Now a bind goes to the opposite line, so I started in the high line, it moves to the lower line and it goes to the opposite side. So it's moved in a diagonal but in a curvature motion. When you bind, you don't go full circle, okay? So we're here in our 3, we extend, we take it down to the opposite side. If I start in a 2, I'm going to start off the same way, I'm going to fully extend, but now I'm taking the blade up. So I'm going to draw a little rainbow over my opponent's head. Don't make this too high, it only has to go over my opponent's head and their blade will come above my head. As I get to this point, I give it a little push and their blade will be sent to the outside. I can then counter with a cut coming in. So, low line to high line, I'm in my parry of 2, I extend to the high line. High line to the low line, in my parry of 3, I extend, pushing the blade down to the low line. Parrying here, extend, bind it up, over to the high line, and again here, going to extend, binding it down to the opposite side. So if you start with an attack here, you should be finishing up here. If you start with an attack here, here, if you start here, it finishes here, and if you start here, it finishes here. So you can see how each time it changes the line. If it's on the high line, it goes to the low line, and it changes side as well. Once again, thanks for joining us. As always, please subscribe, please share this page to all of your friends, and please let us know if there's anything you want us to particularly look at. See you again next time.